Hello, this is Luke Smallwood, and this is my presentation for Parenthood and Children for Marriage and Family. When deciding whether or not to become a parent, there are many factors to be considered. These factors include economic status, desired family size, the age of the couple, and present medical conditions. Additionally, challenges and advantages specific to the 21st century have recently arose, which makes deciding to be a parent a more difficult decision. While there are numerous more factors that could be taken into account, I will be elaborating on these specific ones throughout my presentation. While having a biological child may be less expensive than adopting a child, the cost is still quite high. A child must have food, clothing, and shelter. If the parents have to work and cannot stay home with the child, he or she will also need child care. The cost of education post-child care can be even more expensive. According to a journal published by Family Planning Perspectives, the cost of childbearing alone can range from $30,000 to $80,000. Additionally, one CNN article estimates the cost of raising a child until age 18 to be approximately $245,000. By raising children, parents, especially mothers, also face opportunity costs, like losing a promotion due to maternity leave, etc., which can be damaging to the family's finances. On top of that, the gross median household income for an American family is $51,915, as stated by the United States Census Bureau. Even though a family has 18 years to pay for their child, the family has many other bills to pay and may even want more than just one child at some point in the future. In part due to the economic burden that children can place on parents, the total fertility rate, or TFR, has drastically decreased in the United States. In the 1950s, the average number of children for American families was 3.5, but this number dropped by 1.9 by the year 2011. Although economic factors do play a role, one of the main reasons that couples choose not to parent after 2 children is because 2 is the ideal number in the United States. In fact, 38% of abortions occur because the family has already reached their desired family size. The number of children is one of the most obvious of the changing trends in the study of families, because it is clear that the majority of people are having less children than before. When deciding whether to have children at a young or old age, there are many questions that need to be considered because there are pros and cons to each side. While some people wait to become parents, many do not. What are some of the benefits to begin childbearing early in life? If we look at childbearing from a purely physical aspect, it is evident that women generally have an easier time carrying a child and giving birth when they are younger. For example, the risk of having a child that develops Down syndrome is only 1 out of 350 for a woman that is 35, but this risk increases to 1 out of 30 for a woman that is 45 because the risk goes up significantly as the woman ages. On the contrary, many women are much more emotionally prepared to be mothers once they have experienced more things in life. Not to say that a woman cannot be a good mother when she is young, but generally a 30-year-old knows more about how to handle extreme stress, which often accompanies a new baby, much better than a 20-year-old does. Additionally, older couples are usually much more established in regards to finances because they have had a chance to finish school and possibly even attain advanced degrees. According to the chart, on average, a woman between the ages of 20 and 24 makes approximately $25,116 per year, while a woman between the ages of 35 and 44 makes approximately $40,768 per year. Over the course of a child's 18 years, the difference in income if the woman was to stay at that income level is equal to over $280,000. So there are clearly negative and positive sides to parenting at any age. While there are certain disorders such as Down syndrome that develop because of a mutation in utero, there are also many that can be passed down genetically because one or both of the parents is either affected by the disorder or is a carrier of it. For example, an individual may have sickle cell anemia or cystic fibrosis and not want to put another generation of children through that trouble that these disorders can cause. Additionally, a a potential parent may get a genetic screening to discover if they are carriers for any of these traits. If the couple discovers that at least one of them is a carrier for a disease such as Huntington's disease or deformities such as dwarfism, the couple may choose to not parent because the risk is too great. As the picture demonstrates, most genetic disorders are not definitely going to be inherited, but the possibilities are still present. These risks are commonly assessed in this century because some couples have the resources and ability to get genetic screenings, and many couples have the knowledge of which diseases can be genetic. Because of this, couples are more concerned with having children than they were even just several years ago, because all of this information became available. However, couples can also receive peace of mind that their child will most likely not have certain disorders. Therefore, this information makes the decision to parent a more difficult one because there are so many new factors to consider. On top of all the other challenges that couples face when deciding to parent, there are now new challenges that have arose because of the turn of the century. Among these challenges are economic factors, which have already proven to be a problem for many couples. Additionally, though, because of our 21st century society, children are no longer an economic asset to their families. In the past, many children would go to school for just a few years to learn some basic skills, and then they would be taken out of school to work on the family farm or even in a factory to help provide for their families. Nowadays, children generally attend school until they are 18, and then may go off to college. For this reason, parents are not usually able to place large financial burdens on their children, so the family does not have as much money. Children also tend to cause a great deal of stress and anxiety in the lives of their parents, and according to the text, the more children a couple has, the less happy they are in their marriage or relationship. This is due to the negative financial and emotional situations that having babies causes. The 21st century has made this problem of stress even worse because the cost of having and raising children is increasing faster than the rising income level. American individualism also plays a role in making parenting more challenging in the 21st century. American children are frequently taught to discover themselves before they get married, but by living alone for all this time, individuals become much more selfish because they have not had to share with anyone in quite some time. This makes parenthood very difficult because your entire life revolves around someone else. However, there are also many advantages to raising children in the 21st century, though. For example, since the healthcare is infinitely better than it was just 60 years ago, there is significantly less death among infants because doctors have gotten a lot better at sanitation practices and more knowledge on childbirth. This is made evident by the graph of infant mortality rates. Because of this, parents do not have to be nearly as concerned that their babies will not survive childbirth, so deciding to parent is less terrifying to many people. Parents are also able to view their children as more emotionally significant now, since their children are not simply a way to make more money like they were when they were farmhands by the time they could walk. Back then, children were viewed as a financial asset, and now they are normally viewed as a loved and cared for human being. Parenting can also add a great deal of emotional satisfaction to one's life. For instance, childbearing and child-rearing can give parents a stronger sense of significance and self-worth in life. It can also increase their sense of commitment, which allows couples to believe they have a more stable marriage than they did before. There are many advantages and disadvantages to becoming a parent, and each individual couple must decide if it is right for them. This decision should not be taken lightly because, as this presentation shows, parenting can have several problems. However, it can also bring much joy to balance out the stress that it causes. Therefore, it can be a very wonderful thing and should be considered by married couples. Thank you for watching this presentation.